All right, I should be on YouTube. Let me see. Okay, the meeting should be live on YouTube. Okay, Neil, I was going to share my screen as far as just showing the agenda for people, if that, unless you'd prefer to see people's faces.
That's fine with me.
All right.
Ed, do you see anybody we're waiting on to join back up?
Are you on the phone?
I'm waiting on, I guess, Jim Urban. I just called and gave him the information. I don't see him. Jim, are you there? I don't see him.
Okay, we'll wait a couple minutes more.
Okay, I'm going to mute and call him real quick. Make sure it all works.
Neil, are you on the phone?
No, I'm on video too, but I've just got my camera off so it's smoother.
Oh, okay. I missed that whole pension program.
Yeah, it was. Marie said you could call her if you had any other questions about that presentation, but it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I printed, I got a copy of what was on there, so.
I got a
Basically,
lot
it's-
going, guys.
all right.
All right, sounds like Jim's back on.
Yeah, finally.
Ed, I can't see the list of who's on now. Anybody else we're waiting on?
I have, I'll just show you who I have. I got Jim Urban, who just reported in, Tim Hudson, Sandra Morgan, David Bailey, Ryan Ottinger, of course, you, Neil, Bill, Jeff Greeno, and Jeff Jacob. And I think that's all that's coming because Dan Lamar isn't coming. And
Okay.
Ed, this is Jeff. Ed, can you also confirm that you did not receive any requests to register for the meeting in advance?
I can confirm I did not receive any requests from the public to register for the meetings and participate.
Great, thank you.
All right, we got 1 minute past 5, so we'll go ahead and call the January 20th, 2021 meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board to order. Let the record reflect that all board members are present, less Aaron Smith, and like to take a quick second to welcome Tim Hudson to the board. Tim replaces Dan Lamar, who rolled off of the board at the end of 2020. So welcome, Tim.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm on my phone right now, and for some reason my PC is not loading the email, so it's a little more difficult.
All right, well, we can hear you fine, so that's good. All right, since we've been virtual, we generally skip the Pledge of Allegiance, so we will forego that tonight. We will go ahead and mention that the meeting was appropriately advertised and that there was a short working session prior. First item I have on the agenda tonight are the approval of the minutes from the January 6th, 2021 meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those minutes, and if there are no questions or changes, I would entertain a motion to approve those.
I make a
I make
motion,
a
we
mo-
approve the minutes.
Go ahead.
Got a motion by Bill and a second by, is that Jim or Tim?
Jim.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Jim to approve the minutes from the January 6th, 2021 meeting. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. Go ahead and jump to the next item, which is tree trimming contract renewal. This is an action item, and our electric manager, Jeff Greeno, is going to address the board about our tree trimming contract. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff.
Maybe
Hey,
he's
Jeff,
on mute.
you're mute.
I apologize about that. I just have one item to bring to the board tonight, the renewal of the Aspen tree trimming contract. This is a contract that has the option of rolling over from year to year. As the board is aware, Aspen has been doing our tree trim for the year 2020, and they have done a very wonderful job for us. Our overall outages have significantly went down. And Aspen Tree Company has agreed to keep the 2020 rates for 2021 for us. So with all that said, I'd like to ask the Lebanon Utility Service Board to approve the request of retaining Aspen Tree Trimming Service for the fiscal year of 2021 for the not to exceed amount of $219,460.80. Have any questions?
Yeah, Jeff,
Yes.
you know, I know last year when we approved this amount for the tree trimming service, we had a lot of trees that needed to be trimmed. So, I mean, do we still have enough trees to be trimmed to justify this amount?
We have a lot of trees currently that are in like right-of-ways along like the transmission line and
Right.
places where we're waiting on the ground to freeze so they can get in there and get those trees trimmed. Out in the business park, there's a long stretch line out by, I believe it's XPO Logistics, and mainly our transmission loop goes around the city. And we still have other places that we were waiting on the ground to freeze to get into.
Okay, so
There's-
we still have enough work for these folks to justify this amount, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Jeff,
I've been busy for another year.
Also, I just want to confirm, this is a not to exceed 219,460.80, and they're keeping our, I assume it's an hourly rate, the same as 2020. So that doesn't mean we'll spend 219. If there's less work, then we would spend less money. Is that right?
Is that the way that works, Jeff?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All right, so we could be less than the 219. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that was on the record because this
Yeah.
is not what We just send them a check for that amount and hope that they trim trees.
That's right.
Yeah, and I guess I got one thing to add, is that it was a year contract. We typically do longer term agreements, but as you may remember, we had a different vendor who we were having some issues with, and
Yes.
we went with a year to see how it went. And
Yeah.
our options were to roll it over, and it's our plan to probably renegotiate with them a longer term agreement and renegotiate at that time. But for right now,
okay. How much did we pay last year for 2020? Did we go to the full 219?
If you give me a second, I can look for that.
Hey, while Sandra's doing that, I do remember pretty specifically that Jeff Jacob reviewed our contract a year ago when we were coming off of the other vendor, because we wanted to make sure we were jumping to someone who was going to do, a better job for us, and that the contract was tight. So I know you're on here, Jeff, and I assume that.
I mean, I remember the same thing. That's the only reason I brought it up.
Yeah, Neil and Bill, I can address that. Yeah, so the plan is to look at this agreement this year and do a larger. The agreement, I believe, from last year has expired, and this is sort of a temporary patchwork agreement. So we can do an RFP for a larger agreement in the coming months. Jeff was, this company did come back and want to raise prices. And in just doing this sort of patch agreement, Jeff was able to keep those prices the same as they were last year. You are correct that this is a sort of an as needed contract. I do note that, to remind everybody, and it was on my list to discuss, I don't want to get too terribly far into it beyond this, but we do have a piece of litigation that's ongoing that our insurance provider is managing related to tree trimming. And so we've been sensitive to that, and I think these folks have done a good job. Just by way of explanation on my end, my phone has not rang with complaints or issues, which is sort of a testament. It's a sensitive issue with folks. So I echo Jeff Greeno's recommendation that we renew this agreement with the understanding that we're going to move forward with a larger RFP process this year for a larger, more expanded agreement.
Yeah, I can add to that now. So it looks like last year we approved $206,000. And at the end of the year, there was still 25,000 left, 24,729. So approximately 25,000 that we did not spend.
Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you.
One note in this agreement, there will be the only difference in this rate schedule, I believe, is that there's a different piece of equipment that would be used that was not available in our last agreement. And this one has, I believe, one of the bucket truck, I think, was a piece of equipment that was not quoted and not available and is needed for some of our lines in this one. So that's really the only change.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for those details. Anybody else have any questions for Jeff or anyone else on the tree trimming contract? Sounds like this is just a renewal and
Right.
business.
I don't understand. Just a second on that. Sandra said that last year we okayed a contract of $206,000, and this year it's $219,000, right?
Yeah, it's a not to exceed.
Yeah, but is that because of that piece of equipment? They added $13,000 to the total?
I'm not sure. It could be, Jim, that we just had some room. We came in under budget last year and just threw a little bit of that into the 2021 budget in case we needed it. I don't know that to be a fact, but
Yeah, I understood Sandra to say that we spent 206,000 and we have $25,000 left. So I was thinking it was real close to the same amount. Sandra, did I mishear or?
Well, the original purchase order was done for $206,000. And I was under the impression, Jeff can correct me if I'm wrong, but normally they take a look at our system and then they estimate out what they think they're going to do for the year. And that's how they come up with that total. And that if things happen and they're not able to do that, because they do bill us hourly.
That is correct.
Okay, well, I just was going with what it said it was rolled over the same amount from last year to this year, and it is different.
I think the hourly rate's probably the same, but the not to exceeds probably.
It's changed, right? So really all this is just to approve this amount until we can review the contract and come up with a new contract. So this is just temporary for now.
Yep, this is for this 2021 1 year.
Yeah, I would anticipate that we will start a process this summer of doing a larger RFP.
All right.
And we can step out of this. We can terminate this agreement at any time with 30 days written notice.
Okay.
All right.
All right, any other questions on the tree trimming? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the renewal of this contract for 219-460-80, subject to review and a new RFP.
Second.
Got a motion by Bill and a second by Jim to approve the renewal of the Asplin, hope I said that right, tree service for fiscal year 2021 for a not to exceed amount of $219,460.80. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Thank you, Jeff Greeno and everyone else for that. Looks like the next item is it's an action item as well. It's the water meter replacement, and we have our wastewater manager Ryan Ottinger, who appears to be a repeat appearance on the agenda tonight. So Ryan, here's to the first of many of your appearances.
Right.
Neil, thank you. Yes, the good thing about a virtual meeting is I can sit down and I don't have to stand at the podium for this agenda, because I do have quite a few things on here, but we're busy and before you know it, it's going to be time to start getting stuff done outside. So I want to get some things on the board. The first item that I have is a 5-year project that we will start this year for water meter replacements and lid replacement with those meters. We're going to do 20% of the town. We have a total of 6,700 meters as of November of last year. But with the growth that we have, that number could be 6,800 by now. We're growing so fast. This will replace 6,000 meters in 5 years. So it'd be 20% of our meters every year. And so for the first year, I'd like to request 1,200 water meters and lids. And that will be split between the water and wastewater because that is also how we bill out of wastewater. So it is split 50-50. This project will, if we go with the Badger meters and the meter company that we currently use, the nice thing about this is the new software that we have and the Smart Hub technology that we currently use for ratepayers. All this software is already compatible with these new meters. These are cell meters. The current meters we have are read once a month. So if you have a leak for 15 or 16 days, it's not captured unless you can see it, which a lot of small leaks you can't for a long time. Once we read that meter, with the new cellular technology that these meters will employ, we will have daily readings. So if you have a leak or an anomaly, not only as a customer, not only do we see it as a company, but you would see it as a customer, and it would be much more efficient, much easier to save money, and also to detect leaks with this technology. This will also bring us into compliance with American Water Works Association testing and replacement guidelines. Their guideline recommends meters be tested and or replaced every 10 years. We have battery life issues with some of our meters. The average life of a water meter transmitter on the current meter system we have is 15 to 17 years. And we have 3,500 water meters alone that are in the 13 to 14 year range, which is hurting their efficiency, hurting their accuracy, as far as not accuracy as far as the meter itself, but accuracy as far as we have to get closer to the meter. Right now we can just drive by, but as that battery life deteriorates, so does the range of the read. But with the cellular technology, all that information will be transmitted to us, so it will be much more efficient. With this project, we will do all the installation in-house. We have 3 meter techs, and they can do all of the removal and installation in-house. So we will just be paying for the cost of the meters. I can take any questions that you might. We also have David Bailey with us, who is a meter technician. And so any technical questions that I won't be able to answer, David will be hopefully able to help me out and answer if anybody has any questions.
This is Bill. I have a question.
Yes,
So
sir.
you want $468,000 to replace just 1,200 meters. And is that money, have we got that in the budget?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We put it in the budget this year, and then in our 5-year budget program, we also put it in the 5-year plan for that. And then every year we have 1,200 meters every year, but so next year we put a 2% cost increase in the 5-year plan, so we can make sure we had that money budgeted. So yes, this is a budgeted item to be split evenly, water, wastewater.
Okay, so every year when we get ready to do the budget for next year, I mean, if we really do not have $680,000 for 1,200 more meters, we don't necessarily have to do all of them, right?
Yeah, yes, Bill, that's a great point. We had a 5 and or a 10-year plan that was presented to us. We chose to go with the 5-year more aggressive plan. But if anything would happen, let's say we would have some issues with being able to install all 1,200 meters, or if it becomes a budget issue next year, we can back off that. It is an aggressive plan, so we can always go down. And then this, the meter techs may come to me at the budget season and say, hey, we were only able to do 800 this year, so we still have 400 left over, so we would only need to purchase X amount, to get us to 800 next year. So, that is an aggressive timeline that could always be scaled back if needed.
All right, because if you got a total of 6,700 meters, and you do 1,200 a year for $468,000, that's a lot of money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is. This, like I said, we did have a 10-year plan, but with the growth that we're experiencing, we're due to average between 100 or 200 new homes next year. So the 10-year timeline with the current growth didn't seem like we would ever get caught up. So that's why I went with a little bit more aggressive timeline right now.
All right.
Plus, too, I think Ryan probably went the more aggressive route because a lot of these meters, as you said, are 10, 15 years old already. So we try to stretch some of these out for 10 more years. We're going to be replacing them on their time and not ours.
So what do you do now in replacing? You just replace as needed?
Well, so David can maybe expand on this, but what the plan was, we're going to target the areas that have the oldest and or least efficient battery life.
Okay.
So we're going to come down with a plan and target the areas that we determine in the whole system that would need it, that would be the highest priority, and start with those first.
All right.
Hey, Ryan, this is Tim. Different question again, being newer at this. With all the new construction going on, what meters are currently being installed in the new construction?
David, can you answer that? Is David on?
Yep. So currently we are installing the Badger meters. They are reading on the cellular network and the drive-by. We prefer the cellular, but the cost has been a factor, especially with last year. So any new meters that we purchase are going on the cellular network though. So moving forward, as we install or as they build houses, we will be installing new cellular water meters.
Which will be
How long have we been able to do that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
So I'm glad to hear that, so that we're dealing in what may be the most appropriate technology for the moment. But when was that started? Was that started last year or in 18 or 19 where you can pick it up on your cell?
So we did a pilot program 3 years ago with cellular, and it worked out. We put them our farthest outliers, so we didn't have to drive to them. And then we started doing on all industrial customers. Currently, we have about 50 cellular water meters, and about 25 of them are our large customers. This year has been the year that any new construction we've been purchasing cellular on.
Thank you.
So you've been putting those on new residential?
Yes, we've been limited on budget, but we have 10 of the latest houses that were built have the cellular water meters.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Ryan or David on these meters? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we move to approve the meter department to order 1,200 meters and lids from Midwest Meter for the amount not to exceed $468,000.
Point of clarification before a second. Isn't this where Sandra said we're going to split the budget between water and wastewater?
Yes, it will be split. It will be split evenly. Tim, thank you. It will be split. What is that? I didn't put that number. What I did.
I thought you did.
234,000.
Yes, sorry. I put my sheet up to the side here. Yes, I'm sorry. It would be split evenly between water and wastewater for 234, and an amount to not exceed 234,000 for each department.
So you're splitting it down the middle. Okay, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
Then I'd move to add that to the motion, that it will be split between the water and wastewater for $234,000 each.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion by Bill, second by Tim to approve the meter department order of 1,200 water meters and lids from Midwest Meter for the amount split evenly between water and wastewater, not to exceed $234,000 each, for a total of $468,000. Any other questions or discussion?
Yeah, this is Ed. I just want to make one. This is a procedural point and more of a question for Jeff Jacob. We welcome Tim to the board, but I believe his formal appointment is on Monday. So I don't want us to get our hands slapped by somebody later if it's the wrong thing. And I'm not trying to, I don't mean nothing by it. I just want to make sure that we're doing it the right way.
No, it's true. It's true.
No, you're correct, Ed, and I thank you for pointing that out. That Tim's participation would need to just be as an observer at this juncture.
Okay, so we'll need a second then by Jim, I believe.
Second that then.
All right, so we got a motion by Bill and a second by Jim for the item 4, the water meter replacement that we just read. Thanks for bringing that up, Ed. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will jump to the next item, which is Ryan Ottinger again, and this is a action item for a backhoe purchase. Ryan?
Yes, this item was actually budgeted for 2020, but when COVID hit and we just weren't sure about revenue, we decided to go ahead and push that back to 2021. So, having said that, we did get 3 quotes from Westside Tractor, which is a John Deere dealer, McAllister, which is a Caterpillar dealer, and RPM Machinery, which is Case. And we did go with the John Deere backhoe loader for $45,700, which was the low bid or the low quote. And this also, that price includes the trade-in of the current backhoe that we have, and also a front loader that we own, a 2006. Our current backhoe is a 2003 John Deere, and the front loader is a 2006 Case. That it just really doesn't do what we need it to do without having the backhoe on it, and doesn't have the maneuverability of a new backhoe. So we're going to trade both of those in and to get a brand new 2021. The current backhoe we use for all of our water, this would be for water. So it's all of our water main breaks and any new construction that we do. Has over 2,500 hours on it, has steering issues, and is in need now of pretty much a complete hydraulic overhaul. So it's getting to the point now to where it's starting to cost us more to operate it than we're getting out of it. And that's why we decided to go ahead and we were able to kind of band-aid it along last year. And that's why we decided to go ahead and move forward with it this year. So I can take any questions on that we might have.
Is that 45,700? Is that the same price we had for last year for 2020?
I believe it may be a little different just because we're going from a 2020 to a 2021, but it was very close. But we did get new bids, new quotes for this year, just to make them, within the 90 days, or some places have 30 days, just to make them accurate.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I remember it was close to that 45,000. So that
it was very close, and this would just be this will be a 2021, so it'll be brand new.
Okay, that's good.
All right. Thanks for that, Ryan. I know that we take pretty good care of all of our equipment, trucks, all the way down up to our biggest stuff. So generally, when you come and asking for more equipment, it's needed. And it sounds like that this is going to replace a couple of pieces that are going to need some money. So anybody have any other questions about this item, backhoe purchase for Ryan, before we take motions?
This is Jeff Jacob. To the extent that the board is trading in a piece of equipment, that will need to be included in the motion.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
So we have a 2006 Case front loader and a 2000, what would you say, 3 what?
John Deere backhoe.
John Deere backhoe. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, Bill, you want to make that motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve the water department to purchase a 2021 John Deere backhoe from Westside Tractor Sales in the amount of $45,700 with the trade-in of a 2006 Case front end loader and the 2003 backhoe.
I would second that motion.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Jim to approve the purchase of the 2021 John Deere backhoe from Westside Tractor Sales in an amount not to exceed $45,700 with 2 trade-ins as noted, the 2006 front loader and the 2003, I believe it was a backhoe.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thank you, Ryan. On to your next item, which looks like another action item, pretreatment program assistance.
Yes, this is a pretreatment program assistance for Wessler Engineering. Amy Harvell has been instrumental in our pretreatment program. She helped us with all the language on the sewer use ordinance and our pretreatment program. She also attends all of or a majority of our inspections with us. She also helps us write our yearly report that not only goes to IDEM, but is also submitted to the EPA on our pretreatment program. So her services are just, instrumental in us having success in this program. We really only have Tony Green is our coordinator for the pretreatment program, but we really have no other employees dedicated to this program. So being able to use Amy and her credentials and her expertise has really helped us keep staffing to a minimum while getting the maximum for our dollar with Wessler and Amy's help. She is an engineer at Wessler, and this is her specialty. This would be an on-call pretreatment service that would include, and I submitted this with the board pack. It would include inspections with some of our large industrial users for her to attend, documents associated with that, our year-end EPA IDEM report, and then any other questions or needs we might have for her with anything that just might come up that you just never know from day to day when you're dealing with industries and some pretreatment, what might come up. We did budget this amount, and this request is a do not exceed of $15,000 for the wastewater treatment pretreatment program. And I can take any questions anybody might have on this.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yes, sir.
All right. My only question, I see the 15,000 that's on the next item 7, and this on 6, I show 40,000. Did you say that and I miss it, or?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Am I in the?
Yeah, we were on the pretreatment program assistance. I don't know if you accidentally skipped to 7 or.
No. So for the pretreatment, I thought I had 15. Did I get that? Did I have that number wrong?
No, you got 40 on that, and you got 15 on the general services. Which is which?
So on my board approval requests, I have 40 for the pretreatment. Is that not what?
That's correct.
Right. That's correct. That's what you got.
I was reading the wrong one. I'm so sorry. When you have a stack,
no worries.
when
Okay.
I have a stack in front of me, it's hard to keep track of everything that I've got in here. So this would be, I'm so sorry, 40,000 for do not exceed for Wessler Engineering and the pretreatment program assistance.
All right. Any questions for Ryan on this pretreatment program assistance?
I'll make a motion that we approve the pretreatment general service contract with Wessler Engineering in the amount not to exceed $40,000.
Second.
Got a motion by Jim and a second by Bill to approve the pretreatment general service contract with Wessler Engineering in the amount of $40,000. Any other questions for Ryan or general discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Ryan. Now we'll jump to the Wessler engineering action item.
Yes, sorry about jumping the gun on that. This is for the wastewater system, and this is just for an on-call hourly basis for Wessler. Anytime we might need assistance, you just never know. Wessler was the engineer on our plant expansion. So they have an in-depth knowledge of everything that we have. They also help with pretreatment. They also help with the collections data gathering and any questions on lift stations we might have. So this is just a general services, do not exceed contract, just in case we might need them, or we just need to give them a quick call or have them look over a set of plans and just to double check to make sure that we're right and have that, an engineering stamp on there goes a really long way in just making sure that we've checked everything and done all the troubleshooting that we can do. So this is a budgeted item, and this would just be for general services and any on-call consulting services that we might need from Wessler or for the wastewater department.
This is just kind of a place setter in the budget then, Ryan, for any engineering needs that come up.
Yeah, and maybe like a worst case scenario where we got to just give them a call and say, hey, I need, what are your thoughts on this? I need an answer for this. So, we're not every time we do a call, we're not generating a new purchase order, and we have this kind of put in place to just take care of all that for us.
So this is just kind of a service contract to assist you and your personnel in making a decision, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And any help we might need or any consultation we might need in something that's not, not a big project, but not something that is day to day, that we want to make sure we get it right and it doesn't cost us more money in the long run.
Okay.
All right, pretty basic there. Any other questions for Ryan?
Now, I make a motion to approve the general service contract with Wessler Engineering in the amount not to exceed $15,000.
I second that motion.
Got a motion by Bill and a second by Jim to approve the general services contract with Wessler Engineering in the amount not to exceed $15,000. Any other questions for Ryan? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, Ryan, you're doing great. Got the next item here for you is action item as well. It's well cleaning and rehab.
And this is last but not least, and we're coming into the home stretch of this marathon session, so I appreciate everybody's patience in this. This is a well cleaning program that we want to do. We have 11 wells in our entire water system. We have 5 at the Sugar Creek Water Plant, 3 at Chicago Street, and 3 at Abner Longley Park. And we like to get 2 to 3 wells cleaned every year. And that keeps us on a really efficient rate. That prolongs your pump life. That also checks to make sure, with all the video that they do before and after, to make sure the screen is okay, to make sure that the pipe integrity is okay, and there's nothing getting in there that's going to cause any bacteria issues or cause any treatment issues. And we determine that based on, we do flow tests on all the wells every year, and it gives us an efficiency rating on the pumps. It gives us a flow rating. So then we can determine with that information and concrete data what wells we go with. We provided 3 well companies, Peerless Midwest, Ortman, and Lane, with the information that we needed based on our documentation. So they were able to provide us with an exact apples to apples quote. There was no, we might do this, or one company does this and one company does that. It was exactly apples to apples. So it worked out, the form that we gave them worked out fantastic, that some of the vendors helped us with, and then my water plant staff helped with. And based on that information, the lowest bid was for one well was Peerless Midwest at $19,794. And so what I would like to do, we budgeted, we did budget $70,000 for this project. So if we do 3 wells this year, that would be a do not exceed of $59,382, which would keep us under budget, just in case we did have any small complications in that, or with one of the wells. We do not have to do 3 wells. So if the board would rather us just do 2, That's totally up to the board. These prices are for one well, but not a specific well, because all of our wells are so similar in design and engineering that it is transferable to pretty much any well that we have. So, I want to try to get the most out of them having their equipment here and are the mobilization and demobilization charges. So that's why I want to try to get 3 wells done. So that would be my recommendation at one well at $19,794 and a total of 3 wells to be done for a total cost of $59,382. So I can take any questions on that. I feel like there's a lot of numbers and it's a little bit confusing the way I did it.
Hey, Ryan, this is Bill. I got a question on this one.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
didn't we have a contract with Peerless Midwest like last year or the year before so that they would do a maintenance program on each one of our wells?
That is Suez and Peerless is a part of Suez, yes, but that is for our water towers. That is for the 2 water towers. That's the maintenance agreement with that, but we don't have anything on well agreements.
Okay, I thought we did, but okay.
No, sir. And we do that. There's enough really good companies in Central Indiana that we can just do, instead of going with what, we'll just do quotes on that every year just to make sure we're continuing to get the right price.
All
right. Thank you, Ryan. Any other questions for Ryan before we entertain motions here?
I'd move it to approve the Peerless Midwest to clean 1 well at $19,794 and a total of 3 wells at a cost of $59,382.
I second that, and that's not to exceed. Is that correct?
Not to exceed.
Yeah, that's right. All right, got a motion by Jim and a second by Bill to approve the Peerless Midwest clean 1 well for $19,794 and a total of 3 wells for not to exceed cost of $59,382. Any other questions for Ryan? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Ryan, for all your work.
Thanks everyone for all their patience with this. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is a Ulen update, and this has been an ongoing project for a long time, as you all know. Jacob, I assume here is going to give us kind of a status, and we will move forward depending on the situation.
Yeah, so thank you, Neil. I'm pleased to report that Friday afternoon, we received a fully executed copy of the reimbursement agreement with the town of Ulen. However, sort of our timeline, and I believe the board's motion was that all of this was contingent upon us receiving not only the signed reimbursement agreement, but the recorded easements as well. To date, we don't have the easements. We have seen them and reviewed them. They're just not recorded. So my recommendation at this point is that the board, I guess, come up with some sort of deadline that we have to have these easements by. In theory, it was the 16th. The rationale for establishing a deadline is because we have an open bid. It is not my recommendation to the utility board or to Ed that we enter into or we authorize the letting of the bid with Winhoven until the recorded easements have been the easements have been recorded and are in our hands for review. This board has traditionally been conservative on moving forward with projects until the land acquisition is completed. Technically, that recording is a step in the land acquisition process. So You know, in anticipation of the meeting, and for agenda purposes, we outlined several options that the board would have. Obviously, we're pleased to report that we have forward progress. It's just not quite as forward as we would have liked. So I would look to the board for direction on what you would like us to do. In essence, we are waiting to authorize the bid for the installation of the rear yard system, pending receipt of the recorded easements. I think that's the minimum. We should be okay with that, but I do believe we need to establish a timeline on when sort of the last day that that will be acceptable to us.
Hey, Jeff, this is Bill. I've got a question. Would you be comfortable if we just extend this out until the next meeting, which would be the 3rd of February, and then we can vote on it?
So
It's only
yes.
2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks.
Yeah, the issue is that we do have an open, so I don't necessarily have a problem with it. And Ed may be able to speak to this a little bit more. We do have an open time period on the Winhoven bid, and without looking specifically, I believe that was approved in December. So we've got 60 days on that bid. So I think we're still within time period.
We should be all right. I would feel comfortable. I'm more comfortable if we just wait until the 3rd and then we can vote on it rather than trying to piecemeal part of it. And, you know, I guess it's up.
What if we, what do you think about this? What if we go ahead and vote to approve this contingent upon the easements being in place by the 30th or, you know, the last day of January? And that way that kind of approves this and moves it forward contingent upon them putting these easements in place. I guess I'll go with whatever Jeff and Ed think works best, because I don't mind pushing it to the next meeting, but does it make sense to vote and keep this moving tonight contingent upon those easements?
Yeah, this is Ed. I like the idea of keeping it moving and being contingent, just so that we don't take up board time rediscussing the same thing. I don't want to go, I'm with Jeff. I don't want to go ahead and sign something until all the steps are in place. Really, the most common holdup in an easement is getting the easement signed. Getting it recorded is something that is, it's a procedural administrative step where their attorney or one of their staff takes it down to the courthouse and waits in line and pays a small fee and gets it recorded. But they were reluctant to record them early on, which kind of surprised us because they were saying, well, what if the project doesn't go? Then we're going to have properties encumbered with easements that aren't needed. That's kind of surprised me at the time, because they've always been, this is how they want to do it. So they were supposed to be recorded earlier in this process, but it shouldn't take them very long to record it. I just like the idea of getting it done and making it contingent upon it being recorded. But
I don't have a problem with moving it on, but I mean, I think good luck trying to get anything through the courthouse with the COVID and everything going on, but we can certainly, you know, approve it and move it forward and come up with a date. I'm with Neil, like the end of January is fine, or the next meeting, whatever. It's up to whatever everybody wants to do. I'll go along with it.
So the Bill, just as an update, or just as a comment, the recording is not too terribly difficult. Some of it can be done online. The attorney that I've been working with owns a title company and is familiar with this process. So getting through and recording them is not an issue. So we are, I like the idea of establishing a timeline. January 30th makes a lot of sense. I don't want to start a project and let a contract until we have authority to be where we say we're going to be.
I'm with you 100% on that. I agree.
What if we make it the 31st, since that's the last day? It is a Sunday. I guess we could make it February 1, since that's a Monday and our meeting's Wednesday, but I'll leave that to you, Jeff, to throw the date out there.
Yeah, that either one, day of the week would be great. And I guess the motion, if I might suggest, would be to authorize Ed to approve the Windhoven bid for the rear yard system consistent with the reimbursement agreement and contingent upon receiving all necessary recorded easements within Ulen.
Okay.
And receive those by February 1st.
Yeah, sounds good to me, since that's a Monday.
Yeah, well, I'd make a motion to proceed as per legal counsel's description of what we need to do.
I'd second that motion.
All right, I've got a motion by Bill to approve the Windhaven pipeline agreement, subject to the easements being in place by February 1, 2021, with the ability for our general manager, Ed Baskell, to sign. Anything else in there I missed, Jeff?
Just put the date. I guess January. What did we decide? January or February 1st or what?
February 1st, 2021.
All right, February 1st, 2021. Okay.
All right, so we've got a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion on the Ulen project for Jeff? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thanks for that, Jeff. I know that's been a few minutes of your time, so. Next item we have is the approval of the claims dated January 20th, 2021 in the amount of $1,975,099.15. Everyone had a chance to review the claims?
I make a motion we approve the claims dated January the 2021 in the amount of $1,975,099.15.
Second that motion.
A motion by Bill, second by Jim to approve the claims for January 20th, 2021 in the amount of $1,975,099.15. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item is any other business that anyone might have for the board tonight. Ed, start with you if you have anything.
I don't really have anything other than thanking Tim Hudson for his willingness to serve. This is not an easy job, and it's a lot of it's thankless and a lot of effort at odd times. And we appreciate you. And I'll send contact information for Tim out to the board after the meeting. And that's all I had. Thanks.
I have one subject to bring up here. Going back to the tree trimming, I believe Tim seconded that motion, didn't he?
Yeah, we got that straight though, Jim. We went ahead and changed it to you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime you can bring another Purdue Boilermaker on board is a good thing.
Yeah. Right, Neil?
All right.
You also said that Tim and I are both chemical engineers, so both on these undergrad. So
Yeah.
Okay, sanction all you guys.
Anybody else have anything for the board? And I'll also ask Ed if we've had any virtual public comments, emails, questions on our live broadcast, phone calls, anything from the public tonight, Ed? Oh, sorry, you're on mute there.
I can report that we have no public. I guess the only person on the YouTube channel is myself on my cell phone that I've been checking to make sure we're live. So, and nothing on email or no phone calls forwarded to me. So.
All right. Well, as usual, if anything comes in from the public, Ed will pass that along. Otherwise, I have the next meeting as Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021 at 5 p.m. Anybody else have anything before we take a motion to adjourn? All right, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I make
I'll
the
make that
motion we
motion.
adjourn.